looking at Everwise Freed Field in Mishawaka, where tonight the two largest schools in our viewing area are on a crash course. It's the Elkhart Lions and the Penn Kingsmen in this edition of the 46 Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt, Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines. It's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for what we think will be another exciting night of high school football on TV46. The Elkhart Lions come into this game with a record of 1-3. Robinson St. Louis says their record denotes what they've played like, not what they are.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things. He really believes in this team, and he really believes in their players. I think the problem is the players don't quite believe in themselves. They started to get a little traction last year, and this year they've had a little bit of a rough start, and they got another one tonight, another tough opponent tonight. But the thing is, believing in themselves, have some leaders step up, the upperclassmen step up, do some stuff outside of what the coaches do and outside of what they practice.
And yet the second-year Elkhart coach still likes some of the things he's seen from his ball club.
I think it's important that everybody knows that our team is doing a good job of fighting, right? We don't have a lot of guys saying, woe is me. They understand, like, hey, we need to play better, and our kids are doing that. I think you see a lot of things in regards to improving. We got a lot of young guys playing, and I could see them getting better by how they communicate to me, by how they communicate to their coaches, by the things that answers they start to make. We just got to put it all together on the field. And we've been good offensively, special teams, defense. We've been good everywhere, but not all together in one game, really. And so I'm excited to see us do that.
You mentioned leadership with Elkhart. Well, that's always a facet with Penn, too. It's something that Corey Yeoman works on with his football team, and he really likes this senior class.
Yeah, when you look at this football team and you look at Penn, and regardless of just this class, it starts when they're younger in middle school and stuff like that. They want to play with this group. They want to play at a high level. They want to go to a state championship. And it all starts when they're 7th and 8th grade and building up from there. But it takes dedication in the offseason. You hear nothing about this program except how hard they work in the offseason, and that's key in their leadership.
And at a record of 3-1, Corey Yeoman likes what he's seeing from his team between the lines as well.
Well, you know what? You play team defense. I mean, I think defense is about knowing where your help's at, and I think those guys play well together offensively. To get a good offense, you better start with the offensive line and better have great continuity, and that's hard to do. Get continuity with 5 young men, and that's always a work in progress. And I think Nolan's done a great job running our offense and accent different, the different guys we have with Bayless and Coker and Watson and those guys, and it's been a nice mix this year.
Again, Angelo DiCarlo roams the sidelines tonight. We hit the midway point of the season tonight, but we hit opening night for the NIC for these two teams. It may be an opener, but it's not one you can take lightly.
No, not by any means. If you want to win the big boy division, you got to play big boy football tonight, because if you don't win tonight, you're probably not winning this division. These two teams will face all NIC opponents the rest of the way, and for Elkhart at 1-3, that record doesn't matter anymore if you win tonight, especially. And for Penn, 3-1 doesn't matter anymore if you lose tonight. So this is the one that matters for both of these teams. You get a victory tonight, and you're in the driver's seat for the rest of the regular season.
He talked about it, big boy football. That is what we expect here at Everwise Freed Field tonight. We'll get you ready for it with the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show and the keys to win, and those are next on the 46 Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Tire Rack, HealthLink, Raising Cane's, Crown Trophy, API St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Bills Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. As we bring you back to Everwise Freed Field in Mishawaka, get you ready for this NIC showdown between the Elkhart Lions and the Penn Kingsmen, who are about to come roaring out of the helmet on the south end of Everwise Freed Field. And with Penn coming out of the field, let's check now our keys to win on the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show. We'll start with the Elkhart Lions, led by the quarterback Quinn Ross, who is completing 63% of his passes for 574 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He's a 6 foot, 190-pound junior. He'll need help from his defense tonight. And Marion Dye, 6'5", 245-pound junior, who's getting all kinds of Big Ten and SEC offers and has 28.5 tackles on the year. The keys to win for Robinson, St. Louis, and the Lions.
The keys to win tonight, yeah, this is football season, but I got a baseball anecdote for you. Triple play. They need to play with discipline, play physical, and play fast. And most importantly, you always got to get that first out. And Robinson St. Louis talked about discipline throughout his conversation with us and this team, and that's how they have to win, is with discipline.
This is a balanced Penn offense, and it is led by a senior quarterback in Nolan McCullough. McCullough, 6'3", 198-pounder, completing about 50% of his passes for the year, 356 yards passing, but he also has 301 rushing yards, averaging over 10 yards a carry. And he gets a lot of help from running back Jake Bayless. The 5'10", 198-pound senior has rushed for 361 yards and 7 touchdowns so far on the season. The keys to win for the veteran Corey Oman and the Kingsmen.
The keys to win tonight for the Kingsmen, like always, they need to take advantage of what is given to you. Take advantage of turnovers, take advantage of penalties, take advantage of turnover on downs. They need to limit the big plays. They want to just hold Elkhart to sustain drives, nothing over the top, and make some plays on special teams. Special teams are there for a reason, and Penn loves it when they have a big return on special teams.
The series history only dates back to 2020 because before, in the first iteration of Elkhart High School, they had never played Penn. So now with the reunification, they started playing in 2020. Penn leads the series by a count of 3-1. Elkhart's lone victory was in that 2020 season. Penn won an absolute thriller at Rice Field last year by a count of 21-20. By the way, prior to the reunification, the Kingsmen were 82-4 against Elkhart teams. They absolutely dominated Elkhart. You see the reenaction of the coin toss out at midfield. As we check the weather for tonight, brought to you by Heine's Back Barn. It's a good night to sit outside at Heine's if you could. 72 degrees, a gentle zephyr coming out of the south at 4 miles an hour. And there is not a chance of rain, as there are just a couple of stratus clouds in the northern Indiana sky tonight. Good veteran officiating crew working this one with Andy Simpson at the helm as the referee. He's joined by Chris Walsh, Jay Carnegie, Kevin Mikesell, and Joe Gower. Penn has won the toss and deferred, and Elkhart will receive at the north end of Freed Field.
Reminder, our first quarter sponsor tonight is Hardware Plus. They're a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
And no matter where you're watching, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the IHSA Champions Network, if you're watching our live stream tonight, that's courtesy of 4T Door Systems. As you look at the Penn special teams, Dylan D'Addario gets ready to kick it off for the Kingsmen. And let's see who the Lions will decide to send back deep. Elkhart coming in with a record of 1-3. They beat Hammond Morton in week 3 of the season, having lost to Concord and Northridge in their first 2 games. And then they went to Ohio and took on traditional power Massillon Washington last week. And the Tigers had their way with the Lions, winning that one by a count of 55-0. As for the Penn Kingsmen, they come in with a record of 3-1. They beat Valpo, ranked number 1 in 5A in the preseason poll. They beat them 38-21. Took care of arch rival Mishawaka on TV46 by a count of 28-7. Went to Indianapolis and lost to number 2 Cathedral 35-6, but then turned around last week and beat Hammond Morton by a count of 35-0. So the Lions have sent Darian Jackson back deep in the end zone, awaiting the kick of Dylan D'Addario. Kingsman in the black, Lions in the white. Glad you joined us for high school football on TV46.
What a beautiful night we have here tonight. Beautiful weather. Fans are starting to roll in, still rolling in. I think a lot of them are stopping at the concession stand before they get in here. And stands are getting packed. And then I see a great game tonight between two of the biggest schools here in northern Indiana.
A long pause while the officiating crew gets set. D'Addario on the approach, line drive kick, and it's taken by Jackson back at the 5. Darian Jackson around the left side, and finally thrown out of bounds at about the 23-yard line by Dominic Bonner. You see the powder going up from the Elkhart students. They're having a whiteout tonight, and it'll be first down and 10 from the 20-yard line, or actually they're going to spot it at the 21 for Quinn Ross, the junior quarterback of this Elkhart team. Ross played very well in the game against Penn last season, coming off the bench in relief of Brady Cooper in that one.
Yeah, that was the game where they kind of made that switch, and we thought that might be made throughout the year last year, but Quinn just did a great job. Very versatile athlete, multi-sport athlete.
He's going to hand it off to Connor Dow, who tries to plow off the left side and manages to pick up about 3 yards on the play. Sanders and Pianowski sponsors the Elkhart starting lineup, and you'll take a look as the Lions go into a tempo offense here. Dow, the running back, Nate Munson, a very well-used H-back, Zach Anderson, the leading receiver on the team. There's only one senior on the offensive line, that's Landon Miller at the right tackle. The rest of them a brand new bunch for John Kirkton, the offensive coordinator. 2nd and 7 for the Lions. From their own 25, Ross to throw, and it's nearly intercepted, but instead received, and Darian Jackson will run out of bounds with a first down for Elkhart, and you'll get another look from the R&B Car Company replay.
Great job on the tip drill there. Under route kind of got cut a little bit, but he had enough on it to get the ball up in the air. Good concentration by the wide receiver in that play.
For Darian Jackson, that's his first catch of the season. He's a 5'10", 165-pound senior. Lions move the chains up to their own 36. It's an end around with Nate Munson, the H-back, and Munson only able to pick up about 2 yards on the play. Good pursuit by Tommy Paulus, the linebacker, and we can meet this Penn starting lineup sponsored by Grandson Trucking. Along the front line, we saw Alan Phillips have a big game in the contest against Mishawaka. Evan Witten having a nice season. Good linebacking crew headed by Jackson Griffith and Tommy Paulus. Vince Horner, one of the state's leaders in interceptions with 4. There's Griffith in the defense on 2nd and 9. Ross again looks to throw, gonna unload deep, nobody out there, it's incomplete.
A little bit of miscommunication there, a little bit of a hitch and go on that. The receiver kind of got held up just a little bit in his route, kind of gave up a little bit on the route, and Quinn just went ahead and threw it on the fade route.
Quinn Ross, as Bo mentioned, very versatile athlete, comes from a very athletic family. His dad is the baseball coach at Elkhart. His mom is the athletic director and volleyball coach. And by the way, his uncle is a fellow by the name of Ron Smith, who was an outstanding two-sport athlete at Furman University.
Brother plays college baseball at the moment as well.
Up in Wisconsin, correct?
Yep, Whitewater.
3rd and 9 from the 37. Ross under pressure. Jackson Griffith got rid of him, but Darian Jackson makes the catch up at the 44-yard line. They'll spot it at the 43. That's a first down for Elkhart, and a pickup of 23 on the play. And you're going to see a pretty combination here from Ross and Jackson.
Here you can see it in the R&B Car Company replay. They were working on that all pregame, that quick route up the middle, the little seam route, and really trying to hit it quick.
Well, Ross throws a bounce pass here, which he can save for basketball season. Didn't help him here. It'll be 2nd and 10. Elkhart, even in the Massillon game where they were blown out 55-0, Corey Oman says you watch the film, they moved it up and down the field, they got bogged down in the red zone and made mistakes. And the problem for Robinson St. Louis's team all season long has been they have met the enemy, and it is them. Here's Munson on the end around again, and he gets his legs taken out from under him on a beautiful open field tackle that time by Maverick Brown.
That was a great job by the Penn D line, stretching that out. You can see how far this play gets stretched out because they're just working down their blocks, working them down, kind of pushing the guy out, waiting for that linebacker or DB to come up and make the hit. And sure enough, came up with a 1-yard loss.
This is a very experienced all-senior starting linebacking core for Penn, and they play very solid, especially sideline to sideline. Now Elkhart looking at a 3rd and 11. Blitz got picked up. Ross rolls away from it, throws it out of bounds. 4th down in a punting situation for Elkhart. The pressure kept coming that time from Evan Witten, who sent Ross to the turf as he got rid of it.
That's the play we were talking to the coaches about, with Ross kind of taking a little bit too much time in their pocket, and the pressure's going to get to, especially in high school. There's not a lot of time to throw in high school. You want to get rid of that ball quick. You want to make a decision. If not, you need to get up and get going, because the more you just fade, the more hits you're going to take throughout the season.
Cade Tyrakowski is the punter for Elkhart. Vince or Vincent Horner, depending whether you're talking to him or his mom, is the deep man for Penn. Tyrakowski's punt hit one of his own guys. It rolls forward, and it'll be downed at the 22-yard line. And we'll get another look from R&B Car Company.
It looked like he hit one of his own guys in the back of the head from quick view. Oh, it was blocked.
It was blocked partially by Alan Phillips. So Phillips manages to block the kick, but the good news for Elkhart, it took a favorable Elkhart roll and wound up being a 21-yard punt. It could have been a disaster.
I think Phillips was more surprised he was unblocked when he came in, and the ball was right there, and he stuck his hand up and was able to knock it down a little bit.
So here's Nolan McCullough in the shotgun for Penn with Jake Bayless to his left. McCullough, the senior quarterback, very mobile. He's going to give it to Bayless right up the middle, and the Lion linebackers were waiting for him after a pickup of 2 as we meet the Penn offense sponsored by Kona Ice. McCullough with Bayless back there. The receiving core just keeps getting better and better with Watson, Isol, and Coker has really emerged. Bennett, a good tight end, and the offensive line anchored by the center, Auden Jones, certainly an all-state candidate.
Definitely have some weapons and definitely getting more experience as the season's going on with this receiving crew. And I think the weapons that he has and the ability to use them down the season, down the stretch, it's going to become huge during playoff season.
Penn looking at his 2nd and 8. It looks like McCullough might be changing the play. He's looking out in the flat, and he has his man Elijah Coker, who is brought down after a pickup of 4 on a nice open field tackle that time. As coming up and making the stop was London Johnson. We meet this Elkhart defense sponsored by Sanders and Pianowski. Dye and Morris, 2 big-time ends. The linebacking core led by Max Huckleberry and Oliver Yakey. You look in that secondary, Darian Newsom, the free safety, has had a ton of tackles already this season. He'll need some more tonight as Penn is looking at a 3rd and 3 after a pickup of 5. McCullough with Bayless on his left, and again he signals out the play to the receivers. Elkhart showing blitz. McCullough flushed out of the pocket, turns upfield, and he battles. He'll be short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th and 1.
Yeah, he's going to be about a half a yard short. Rolled out, was trying to get that 1st down and fight for it, but it looks like they're bringing on the punt team.
Tamari Morris was able to wrestle him down. Had some help from E.J. Aguirre. 4th and 1, and Penn is going to go with the punting unit, and Austin Isol, who averages 31.5 yards a kick. London Johnson is the deep man for Elkhart.
Get ready to line up for the punt here. Punts and kicks tonight for Penn are sponsored by Stipp Law.
High floating snap, and Isol hangs one up in the Indiana night. It'll take a Penn roll. Oh, baby, will it. Down to the 13-yard line. That's a 55-yard punt with no return. Bad field position for Elkhart when they come back on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Tire Rack. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
THK Law LLP is a proud supporter of high school athletics. THK Law has been helping Michiana families with estate planning, elder law, business matters, and litigation for over 25 years. Visit thklaw.com.
Elkhart has a problem here. Play clock's already down to 5 as Quinn Ross comes out on the field because they took too long, and they're going to have to either take a timeout or delay a game, and there's the flag. A delay of game called against Elkhart, not getting that play out to the team quickly enough. Robinson St. Louis was hoping that he got the timeout called on the sideline.
Looks like Andy Simpson just called a timeout on by Elkhart.
Well, the Penn timeouts tonight are sponsored by Rise and Roll in Mishawaka as you look at Corey Yeoman now in his 21st season. And when you look at Corey, you have to remember, Penn is in a very unique situation. They have had 2 head coaches since 1972. And with Chris Giesman and Corey Yeoman, they're the only Indiana high school with 2 coaches who have won over 200 career games. We were here for career win number 200 for Corey, and we saw the great ovation that he got from the Penn fans that night.
Yeah, 2 great coaches and 2 legendary coaches that came through Penn here. And it just shows the tradition that they have, the people, and Corey talked about it last week, the people that he surrounds himself with, the coaches that are willing to put forth that effort to be the assistant coaches and put all that extra hard work in. That's key to having successful seasons, and both of those coaches have done that.
1st and 10 from the 13, so the penalty was waved off. Ross throws, and it is broken up. Maverick Brown was covering Zach Anderson well out of the flat.
Whether it be for the best burger in town, a juicy steak, or a slow-roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The Deschone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart, located on Lusher Avenue.
Empty backfield, fake. No, it's a jet sweep, and it didn't fake out Penn at all. Trying to turn the corner that time for Elkhart was Chase Bussard, who is a backup quarterback. And Bussard only picked up a loss of 2 on the play. So Elkhart looking at a 3rd and 12 right here.
Could get great field position here if they come up with a big stop.
And I think that's what Corey Yeoman's philosophy was in punting the ball away. He had a lot of confidence in his defense, and they're delivering so far in this possession. Call it 3rd and 13. Ross to throw, under pressure, and down he goes. The Penn defense storming through and making the hit. Brandon Lynch, and that's his 3rd and a half sack of the season for the 6'2", 210-pound senior.
Here you can see a great job by the R&B Car Company replay of getting the pressure, getting up, and again, talk about Elkhart has to get rid of that ball early. A young offensive line here that needs to get some more experience. But when you got 3 guys coming after you, you got to understand, you got to give that quarterback a little bit more time.
Now Ty Rakowski punting from the shadows of his own goalpost. High snap, high kick. Horner's going to watch this one hit. Try to field it on the bounce. No, he'll get away. And it rolls a little bit more for Elkhart all the way down to just inside the midfield stripe. Not a bad kick, 34 yards, no return, and Penn will take over 1st and 10.
William and Kayla Thomas with Grandson Trucking are proud supporters of Penn High School. Their son, number 43, Wilson Thomas, and all the Kingsmen. Have a great game and a great season.
Nolan McCullough, senior quarterback. He is 23-5 as a starter at all levels at Penn. 24-5. This is his 30th game between freshman, JV, and varsity of being a starting quarterback. He's looking at a 1st and 10 right here from midfield. It's Jake Bayless trying to turn the corner, and E.J. Aguirre will have none of that as Aguirre comes over and makes the stop at the line of scrimmage. Aguirre, a 6', 275-pound senior, has had a nice season along the defensive line. In fact, if you look at the numbers for the Elkhart defensive line, they don't look like the numbers of a 1-3 football team.
Yeah, I mean, they really come out to play. As you can see, Aguirre there actually got some of that turf in his, the pebbles in his eyes on that last play. But no, they got a strong group up front there, get a lot of pressure on that offensive line.
But how can Elkhart handle these big Penn receivers? We're going to find out as the game goes along. Bayless tries to go up the middle that time and only gets a pair. Jake Bayless, strong young man. You would expect that. His dad, Matt, the former strength and conditioning coach for the Notre Dame football team. Jake squatting 430, benching 350. All NIC football player and track man a year ago. 3rd and 8. Elkhart jumping but did not make contact. Play clock down to 10 as McCullough looks to the sideline. Now it's at 5. McCullough looking left, fires and overthrows his man. He was looking for Tayshawn Bardo but couldn't make the connection. And the Elkhart defense with a couple of 3-and-outs to start this one.
Yeah, just a great job of really understanding what Penn's trying to run on an offense and really shutting it down. They're just doing a great job and definitely having a defensive battle out here between these two teams so far.
Austin Isol, a wide receiver, is the punter for Penn. I only say that because this is the position in the field where if you're going to think about a fake punt, maybe this is the spot. Instead, Corey Yeoman will play the field position game. Why not? Isol chips one in there like a bow hunt wedge, and it'll roll dead at about the 7. A 41-yard punt with no return, and he's had a couple of dandies so far on special teams.
Yeah, just a great punt and getting Elkhart backed up, and great field position for the defensive side of the Kingsmen. At Sanders and Pianowski, professional service to their clients is their first and compelling priority. The firm of Sanders and Pianowski want to take time and wish both teams well in tonight's game. Serving the Elkhart community for decades and decades yet to come, Sanders and Pianowski on the Riverwalk in downtown Elkhart.
Elkhart has not been able to establish any kind of ground game so far. They are at -6 rushing yards for the night. They did get a couple of first downs passing the football. We'll see what Ramasane St. Louis and his offensive coordinator John Kirkton do here on 1st and 10 and deep in their own territory. They ask Connor Dow to carry the ball, and he'll pick up about a yard on the play. Dow with 220 rushing yards on the season, but 166 of those came in one game.
Yeah, both teams really trying to establish the running game here early. Passing game for Elkhart has worked out. Penn not so much yet, but that seam down the middle, that quick hitter, has really been successful for Elkhart. Look for them maybe go back to that on this series.
They've got to find a way to buy Ross some time, though, and the matchup of experience between Elkhart's offensive line and Penn's defensive line certainly favors Penn, but some good hard running by Dow that time. A young man that squats 365 before Tommy Paulus brings him down. You'll meet Tommy coming up at halftime. He is one of our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. But Connor Dow plowing forward for about 5 yards that time gives Elkhart a favorable 3rd and 4 right here.
Definitely manageable 3rd and 4 for Quinn Rost in this Elkhart Lions offense.
Last year we saw Rost have a lot of success running the football. Do you give him some sort of pass run option play here?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think any pass should have the option of a run on it. It's just a matter of it's like they're going to go ahead and call their second time out of the half.
Elkhart will use another timeout, but we'll keep it here with 2:23 left in the first quarter.
Generations Adventureplex in Mishawaka offers 33,000 square feet of fun on 2 levels. And now open is the Grizzly Falls, a dynamic 18-hole mini golf course. Come by this weekend and play a round of golf at Generations Adventureplex in Mishawaka.
Big weekends coming up for Notre Dame football. Maybe not as big this weekend playing Central Michigan, but they've got another opponent coming up with the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Anj and I will preview it with the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union Irish Football Fix Monday night at 7 on Pulse FM. And should you miss the show, and it really should be appointment radio for you, but should you miss it, it's available the rest of the week in podcast form. Nice crowd on hand tonight here at Fried Field. Can't blame people for turning out on a night like this. 72 degrees.
Beautiful night out here for a Friday night, coming out and supporting your local high school, your local football team and cheerleaders and band. A lot of involvement in the Penn athletic and the Penn community here.
3rd down and 4 for Elkhart. Scoreless game with 2:23 to go, first quarter. Penn showing a little blitz, and here they come. Ross got rid of it to the other side, found Cade Tyrakowski, and he's got a first down all the way up to about the 23-yard line. For Tyrakowski, his 6th catch of the year, a pickup of 9 on the play. You'll see it again from R&B Car Company.
Just a great job of really looking that ball in, not turning it up, understanding that you have the first down, not taking your eyes off, and securing that ball for that first down.
1st and 10, and if nothing else, the Lions dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole here in this field position battle. Zach Anderson in motion. It's Ross keeping it himself, and he gets nailed by Vinnie Freeman as he tried to turn the corner.
Freeman did a great job of staying home on the fake, understanding what gap he had. He came up, filled it properly. You can see right here. Just a great job, great form tackle.
Man, he went right through the hip that time, didn't he?
Sure did. Wonder where he learned that.
5'11", 190-pound sophomore, and yes, he is the son of Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. An outstanding wrestler. He finished 6th in the state as a freshman at 182 pounds. 2nd and 11 for Elkhart. Ross grabs a low snap, steps up in the pocket, will run, and he gets greeted rather rudely by Tommy Paulus, but not until he picks up about 7 on the play.
Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka on Grape Road, Granger, and now the Twin Branch location, where you'll always find delicious pizza and a relaxed family atmosphere. Order online at MishawakaBarnabys.com. We'd like to thank Barnaby's Pizza in Twin Branch for feeding the production crew with great pizza.
Credit Ross with 6 on the play, so Elkhart looking, well, scoreboard says 3rd and 5. Looks like 3rd and 4 to me, but who am I? Here's Ross looking to throw. Under pressure, down he goes. Brandon Lynch got him again, his 2nd sack of the night.
Wow, Lynch is just coming up huge on defense tonight. Another big loss, big sack by Lynch.
You get another look, courtesy of R&B Car Company. And we'll see if Elkhart punts before the quarter ends. Cade Tyrakowski would prefer not to, as the defenses have dominated in the first quarter here at Everwise Freed Field tonight. Both teams coming out with big defensive stops. In fact, Elkhart didn't allow Penn a first down in the first quarter. Hard to believe, but Brandon Lynch having a night. Nothing after 1 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you by Raising Cane's craveable chicken finger meals. One love. If you love defense, you've come to the right place. Nothing at the end of one. Time to go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, once again, not what we expected.
Hey, you know what? It's been a good year for us on 46. You think a game's going to go one way, and then both teams perform at a high level. And Elkhart maybe gaining some confidence through this first quarter. What did Robinson St. Louis tell us? They had to play discipline. Well, defensively, they certainly have done that. Offensively, maybe wasting a timeout that they didn't want to have with not being able to get the play call. One thing I did notice, I spent a little time on the Elkhart sideline in that first quarter. The players were starting some of the cheers for the fans. So maybe trying to get some positivity on that sideline, trying to build some momentum in that regard. So that was interesting.
Well, that quarter has to be considered a positive for Elkhart. We move to quarter number 2, brought to you by Ivy Tech Community College. That's Vince Horner lined up at his own 45, awaiting the punt from Cade Tyrakowski. Penn has won the special teams battle so far tonight, and we'll see if they can make a really big special teams play here. That has been a hallmark of the Kingsmen over the years. Tyrakowski hurried the punt, And Horner watches it turn sideways and get down right at the midfield stripe. So again, Penn playing with excellent field position here.
Yeah, you had to hurry it again because Phillips was in there again. He came in unblocked, almost got another block, but they got to figure out something on that, get that punt off a little bit easier.
Well, it is a unique formation that Elkhart uses. They only have 3 blockers in towards the middle, and Penn has just decided to overload that with 4. Math never fails.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. And Nolan McCullough, 1 of 2 throwing the football tonight, stands in at quarterback. Elkhart showing blitz. McCullough throws over it, finds Elijah Coker, and Coker gets taken out of bounds after a pickup of 7. Good quick tackling that time by the Lions, as coming over was the cornerback, Corbin Ryle, and he had help from Darian Newsom.
Great job by Coker, really looking that ball in. McCullough getting it to him quick. Nice little pickup on 1st down of 7.
We saw Coker in his football coming out party in the game against Mishawaka, and he has become the leading receiver for this Penn team now with 13 catches on the year, with 2 already tonight for 12 yards. Penn looking at a 2nd and 3. Bayless, the running back behind Nolan McCullough. And it's Bayless taking the handoff around the left side, and here comes Elkhart in a hurry. Great penetration that time by the Lions. And you'll get another look at the R&B Car Company replay, as coming up and making the hit for Elkhart was Chase Bussard.
Chase really come flying up. He just did a great job of understanding his assignment, come flying up. Wrap the legs up, great open field tackle.
Bayless with 4 carries for only 1 yard tonight. The Lions have really keyed on the Penn senior and forced Penn into a 3rd and 6. McCullough wants to throw. Quarterback draw, didn't fool him. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. Logan Jellison comes over from the defensive tackle spot. 6'5", 230-pound wrestler, and he got the takedown right here on McCullough at the line of scrimmage.
Wow, what a performance so far for this Elkhart Lions defense. They're just putting the pressure on McCullough, going through that offensive line like it's butter.
Stip Law sponsors the Penn punt here by Austin Eisel. London Johnson, the deep man. High snap. Elkhart couldn't get to it, and Eisel with a good kick. That again takes a Penn roll. This one inside the 5 all the way down to the 1. At some point, Elkhart has to start fielding punts, so they're going to pay the price. And this time it was 52 yards.
Yeah, the last one was about 15 to 17 yards that they gained by not fielding the punt. The Penn kicker's getting it high enough in the air where I understand you got commotion, you got guys around you, but they cannot touch you if you throw your hand in the air. Even if you feel a guy getting close to you, understand they cannot touch you. Come up, field that ball, throw your hand in the air.
Eisel tonight averaging 49 yards on his punts. If we had to have a Raising Cane's player of the game right now, he'd be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, the field position that Elkhart started out with tonight has just been awful because of the punts that are just rolling back inside the 10 each time.
From the Lions 2, it's Connor Dow. He got out of the end zone, plows behind his right side, and still carrying tacklers all the way up to the 9. That is a heck of a run by Connor Dow.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working for a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
Give him 6 yards on the play. A little breathing room for Elkhart out to the 8. It's Dow on the sweep, but he never got his footing and falls down at the line of scrimmage. There was pressure in the backfield when he got the handoff, but he was past it. Just couldn't get his legs under him. You'll see what I'm talking about here on the R&B Car Company replay.
Yeah, actually moved the down marker back about a half a yard, lost about a half yard on that play.
And guess who was in there applying the pressure? Brandon Lynch again. He is just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage right now. Third and 4. Big down here for the Lions. Penn waiting, the throw in the flat, and it's caught, and a first down for Elkhart. It'll be caught again by Darian Jackson, who has had a good night catching the football. An 8-yard pickup here for Jackson will move the chains for Elkhart.
Just a great job of really understanding the route, understanding where your receiver's going to be. Ross did a really good job of getting that ball where it needed to be on the outside.
Quinn Rost 4 for 8, throwing for 51 yards so far. Rost double pumps. He's looking for Jackson again, but the great coverage that time by Dominic Bonner, who ran with him stride to stride. And you know Dominic Bonner's fired up for this game because he is a transfer from Elkhart.
Bonner just did a great job of really using his body to force the receiver out of bounds in that situation. And when that happens, you can't catch the ball out there.
Penn has some very physical defensive backs, and Bonner probably the biggest of the group at 6'3", 178. 2nd and 10. Rost, play action, handed it off to the sweeping Dow, but he can't get anywhere as the defensive line gums up the works right there with Evan Witten at the bottom of the pile. Witten, the nephew of former St. Joe coach Brian Witten, a member of the wrestling team here at Penn.
You can improve your future at Ivy Tech. The goal isn't graduation day, it's a better every day after. Ivy Tech degrees transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities, plus alumni earn on average $10,000 more with a 2-year degree. Enrollment is open for an October 23rd start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
3rd and 10 for the Lions. Ross needs to throw. A little flare out to Connor Dow, but Dow can't get away from Vinnie Freeman, who throws him down with authority at the 24-yard line, 2 yards short of the first down.
Big CRV Car Company replay. Just a little flare out, getting him out in the flats. Nice little pickup here on 3rd down, but just quite not enough for the first down.
If nothing else, though, Elkhart moved the football enough to give Cade Tyrakowski a little bit of breathing room right here.
So you'll see here, they line up, they got 3 out, 3 in the middle, 3 out on the other side. Phillips is the one that they've been leaving open right on the right side, on the defensive right side of the center here. See if it happens again.
And Phillips was going to get loose, but Tyrakowski sidestepped him. Vince Horner from the 46. Horner taking it up the field, and Elkhart gang tackles him at the Lion 47. Still the best field position of the night for the Kingsmen.
MAAC Property Services is a family-owned company offering full-service commercial-grade maintenance and snow removal. Yes, I said snow removal in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Celebrating 25 years of business this year, MAAC Property Services is proud to support the Kingsmen as they start a great season of football. Go Kingsmen!
By the way, other scores around the area. Rochester leading Lewis Cass 14-0. That game in the 2nd. And congratulations to the Penn girls golf team. They won their 16th consecutive sectional title today out at Knollwood. Delaney Wade was the medalist with a 70. 1st and 10 from the 47. Jake Bayless tries to slam it up the middle, but man, that Elkhart defensive line has been tough, and Bayless is punished on that 3-yard run, even though he gets up with enthusiasm.
Elkhart defense really not bending much to this Penn offense. 4th series here for the Penn offense, and got to admit, this Elkhart Lion defense has really stepped up so far here in the first half.
LaVille leads Caston 20-0. That game in the 2nd. Brandywine with a 12-6 lead on Berrien Springs in the 2nd quarter. West Noble on top of Fairfield 6-0 in the 2nd. Bayless tries to cut it up the field, and again Elkhart is there waiting for him. Max Huckleberry, our Tony Letcher Student Athlete of the Week from Elkhart, comes up and makes the stop after a pickup of 1. Huckleberry with good size at 6'1" and 180, and shows nice technique fighting off the block of the wide receiver Kellen Watson and coming back inside.
Martin Supermarkets groceries to go. Annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. You get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
6 carries, 5 yards so far for Bayless. Whistles blown and flags thrown, and a false start called on Penn. That is our first penalty of the game tonight, and it comes at the 5:40 mark of the first half.
Very clean game so far between these two teams. Talking about laundry anyways.
Northridge leads Goshen 7-0 in the second. Marion and Adams are scoreless in the second. Warsaw leads Northwood 14-7. That game still in the first quarter.
What was that, Warsaw?
Somebody woke up the Tiger offense.
Wow.
3rd and 11. And we'll see the Warsaw Tigers next week on 46. Penn still looking for its first down of the night. McCullough under pressure. Down he goes. Marion Dye. Marion Dye came racing in, and that's the kind of speed that has the Big Ten and SEC teams looking at this young man. 6'5", 245.
Wow, McCullough's lucky Dye didn't strip that ball from him as well. He was coming in on the blind side and could have easily fumbled that ball as well. Great job by McCullough holding on to it, but Dye, wow.
Stip Law sponsors the Austin Eisel punt. He's been the star of the game so far for Penn. He's got a chance to have another big punt here. High hanger. And again, Elkhart can't field it. And it again takes a Penn roll as it'll finally die at the 15-yard line. A 38-yard punt is shortest of the night. 4:32 to go in the first half. Both teams have what the little boy shot at. Nothing. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the St. Joe County Police Department. Join the team and help protect and serve our community. Elkhart nothing, Penn nothing in the second. It's not baseball, it's football. And with 4:32 to go in the first half, with every minute that ticks off the clock, the Lions have to be growing in confidence coming into this game as a rather prohibitive underdog. Connor Dow off the right side runs into Tommy Paulus, and the big linebacker stands him up after a pickup of 2.
Time for Tees wants to give a shout out to the Penn football team and all of Kingsman Nation. Have a great night tonight and all season. Time for Tees can handle your team's screen printing needs. Visit timefortees.com.
Of course, you hear that name, Paulus. He is the younger brother of Ron Paulus III, who played quarterback here at Penn, and the son of Ron Paulus, who played quarterback at Notre Dame back in the 1990s. Tommy, an all-conference linebacker a year ago, and as we mentioned, you'll meet him at halftime, one of our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. Elkhart looking at the 2nd and 8. And flags thrown as the play gets underway. And I think this time Elkhart will get the delay of game. They took a little bit too long, or a false start. First official penalty on Elkhart tonight as Corey Yeoman looks on. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Big shout out to Generations Adventureplex being our scoring sponsor tonight. Well, we haven't had any scoring, so just give a shout out to them.
They've got that new Grizzly Falls mini golf over there. As you take a look at Robinson St. Louis in his 2nd year at Elkhart after 4 years as the head coach at Peru. Robinson, just such an intriguing story. One of 13 kids, born in Haiti, raised in Chicago. His mom still in Haiti and rarely gets to see his games. Hopefully tonight on the live stream, she's able to get it somehow. 2nd and 13 from the 12. Ross escapes a couple of tacklers, brought down from behind by Lynch as he gets tackled at the 15. Pickup of 2 on the play.
Lynch picking up his 18th tackle of the night.
It seems that way. 32 has been all over the place for the black and gold.
And he's just coming off that DN, coming off that edge, coming to the inside to the outside. And his motors just are running the whole game.
They have not found a way to slow him down. They've tried those passes out in the flat to that side, but that didn't work either. 3rd and 13. Ross got pressure up the middle from guess who?
Lynch again, baby. Lynch up the middle. Ross had to get rid of it quicker than he wanted to.
So now Penn has a full complement of timeouts left. 2:41 to go in the first half. They're going to get the ball in good field position, but I don't have the Kingsmen for a first down yet in this game.
I do not either.
That is unbelievable.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. There's no better way to make sure your athlete is ready to play than with a sports physical. Call HealthLink and schedule an appointment today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Horner makes a man miss at the 47. And then flags come in. I think we're going to get a block in the back here after Tamari Morris makes the tackle on special teams. We'll see what the explanation of the flag is. It was thrown at about the 40-yard line.
If it is blocked in the back, it could be only the second time that Penn will start in its own territory.
Which just shows what a stellar job this Elkhart defense has done, because they've had their backs against the wall the entire first half.
They deserve some Kona Ice. Well, speaking of Kona Ice, they're proud to support high school athletics. Kona Ice, we're mobile, we're fun, we're delicious. Dates fill up fast, so visit Kona-ice.com today to reserve your party.
See Andy Simpson give you the indication there. And you'll hopefully pick it up here on the R&B Car Company replay right there. The block in the back was pretty easy to find by Taylor Bauer there. So it marches Penn back to its own 49-yard line. Nolan McCullough, 2 out of 3 passing the football tonight. Let's see if they try to open it up a little bit more here. Elkhart has been very stingy against the run early. McCullough does try to throw to the outside. Elijah Coker. And he got knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line, and the Kingsmen have a first down. Their first one of the night.
He did a great job of toe tapping that sideline. Just couldn't quite keep his toes in for the touchdown, but just did a great job of picking up that huge first down. Get the chains moving finally for the Kingsmen here in the first half.
Coker with 3 receptions for 29 yards so far tonight. Penn its deepest penetration into Lion territory at the 34-yard line. And there was some movement along the Penn offensive line. I wonder if they're thrown off a little bit. You can hear the band playing in the background as they warm up for their halftime show.
Yeah, it looked like the offensive lineman went to put his hand down after his other one was down, so you knew he kind of false started, but he was trying to make it a 4-point stance and act like it was part of his motion. Crystal Clear Pools and OCO is a proud supporter of high school athletics. To all the student athletes, band members, and cheerleaders participating this fall, keep up the hard work and thank you for being leaders in your schools and community.
And it looks like they want to put some time back on the clock here. So Andy Simpson indicating it should be 2:24 on the clock, not 2:23. Reminder what they're playing for here tonight, as this is the conference opener for these two teams. New Prairie and St. Joe, they're playing right now at Father Bly Field. And then these two teams trying to get on top. And you have to think the winner of that New Prairie St. Joe game is likely the biggest obstacle left to the winner of this game getting an NIC championship. Second quarter, South Bend Washington with a 7-0 lead on Clay. Here's Jake Bayless trying to scamper up the middle. And Bayless with one of his better runs of the night before Maurice Harris brings him down after a pickup of 6.
Clock winding down, but as you stated, 3 timeouts still for the Penn Kingsmen. Inside the 35-yard line now.
By the way, New Prairie leading St. Joe 7-6 first quarter over at Father Bly Field. Rochester now with a 22-0 lead on Lewis Cass, that game in the second. West Noble takes a 12-0 lead on Fairfield, and Jimtown on top of Bremen 21-7 in the second quarter. Low snap, and again flags thrown and a false start.
Everyone loves Rise and Roll Donuts in Mishawaka, but did you know that they also offer pies, jellies, soup mixes, Amish noodles, and so much more? Rise and Roll also offers a large line of gluten-free products. Stop by this week for your favorite Rise and Roll donuts and so much more. Located on Grape Road in Mishawaka, open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and Saturdays, 7 to 5. Rise and Roll, doing things the old-fashioned way.
South Bend Riley has a 7-0 lead on Indianapolis, Washington in the first. The Riley Wildcats trying to go to 5-0 for the first time since 1965. Jim Witten was the head coach. It was a very good year, say some people. Here's McCullough looking to throw over the middle, and it's off the hands of the leaping Kellen Watson.
Had him open right through the hands. Get those thumbs together. Got a guy on the ground, looks like.
We've got an Elkhart player injured back at the midfield stripe. And that's Ethan Friedline, who is down. And Robinson St. Louis and the trainer will come out to take a look at him.
Stip Law cheers for the Kingsmen and have a great season. Stip Law achieves positive results for providing comprehensive, passionate representation. Stip Law, legal help for all life's hurdles.
Next week we go back into the Northern Lakes Conference, and what a head knocker. The mentor and the student, Bart Curtis and Keith Kinder. Triple option football. If it starts at 7, we might be done by 8:30. We'll have it for you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports in Michiana, TV46. That's always a fun one.
That is going to be a fun game to go to, and get out there, support your local high schools, your local programs, but that's going to be a fun game.
Friedline still kind of doubled over at midfield as the trainer attends to him, and he appears to not want to put any kind of weight on his right ankle, so a teammate or two will come out to try to help him off the field.
You need a crowd pleaser? Raising Cane's has you covered this school year with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and my favorite, buttery Texas toast, and their craveable Cane's sauce. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app, One Love.
Checking the scores, Mishawaka with a 7-0 lead on Plymouth. That game still in the first quarter. Concord pounding Wawasee 22-0. Craig Kaler's team starting to kind of find its identity as they're in the second quarter now. And let's see, New Prairie still with that 7-6 lead on St. Joe. That's in the first. And of course, if you're watching our 4T Door Systems live stream tonight, we'll try to give you a lot of those scores in one big batch coming up here at halftime. You see the clock, right-hand corner of the Tire Rack scoreboard. 0-0 game. Penn looking at a 3rd and 14 from the Elkhart 38. Nolan McCullough, 3 out of 5 throwing. Looks to throw again. Tight end screen. Cole Bennett and Tamari Morris sniffed it out and makes the stop at the 40.
What a great call by Penn, but what an even better play by Tamari to hold his ground and not pursue and make an open field tackle on Bennett. Just a great job. Understood his assignment, stayed home, and he was very disciplined in it.
He ran right under the guard, Riley Shramsky, and got there before he could be blocked. And Austin Eisel will be called to punt again on a kick sponsored by Stip Law with under a minute remaining here in the first half. Elkhart has changed deep men back there. And this punt goes straight up in the air by Eisel, and it takes an Elkhart roll. And the Lions say, thank you very much. We actually have field position at the 43. Only 42 seconds left before halftime.
Actually lost, looks like 3 yards on the punt.
Yeah.
Negative 3 yards.
That'll hurt the average.
Yeah, and look at the field position, though. All you got to do is just kind of punch it down there and get it down. But the field position now changes a little bit for Elkhart. They have an opportunity to take a couple chances down the middle of the field with the timeout as well.
Quinn Rost getting some direction from the sideline, but it looks like Robinson St. Louis, well, maybe Ross forgot his mouthpiece. I'm not sure. It's up there in the helmet. First and 10. The Lions with one of their best opportunities of the night. Their leading receiver for the night, Zach Anderson, has been held without a catch. Can they get him loose here? It's Anderson in motion. Ross looking that way, fires, and it's a little bit low for Cade Tyrakowski. He had him open.
Had him open down the seam, just a little short on the throw, and Lakowski didn't come back to the ball just a little bit.
I like the design of that play. It created a lot of motion to the far sideline and brought Tyrakowski back across the middle.
Yeah, and he was kind of coming up the seam and didn't come back across enough on that throw.
Kept taking it deeper.
Yep.
2nd and 10. Nate Munson, the H-back, standing next to Ross. Ross throws to Tyrakowski on a bubble screen, and Tyrakowski's got a first down and more in the Penn territory at the 44. Clock will stop with 29.1 seconds remaining in the half. A pickup of 13 for Cade Tyrakowski.
Looks like they're hurrying the line. Might spike the ball here.
Clock has not started yet. Now it does with the snap. Tyrakowski gets out of bounds on a nice catch. Caught it inbounds, then stepped out after a pickup of 3.
TireRack.com is proud to serve as a scoreboard sponsor for the TV46 Game of the Week. Since 1979, Tire Rack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They're also well known for supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Chase Bussard, number 5, just checked into the game. He is the backup quarterback for Elkhart, and he is lined up in the slot. Could chicanery be coming right here? We'll see.
Good spot, Chuck.
Nope, Bussard's going out on a pattern, but Ross throws the other way, and the catch is made by Darian Jackson, who's had a big night, and he gets a first down to move the chains up to the 33, a pickup of 8.
Elkhart moving the ball finally here in the first half, running a 2-minute offense in a 30-second time frame, but doing a great job of it.
Elkhart still has to make up some ground here. They're going to be in any kind of field goal position. It's 1st and 10 from the 33. 20 seconds left. Here comes Bussard on the end around. Here is the halfback pass. Throws down the field. It's almost intercepted. Vince Horner got his hands on it. So we called it for you just a moment before it happened, folks.
Yep. Just didn't get enough air under the ball. Had 2 receivers actually wide open, but great job by Horner knocking that ball down. Almost had a pick.
Bussard's still in the game here, so you have to be alert for that again on 2nd and 10. I would say Elkhart needs to pick up almost 20 yards to be in comfortable field goal range for Jeremiah Aguiar. Ross under pressure, throws, and it's dropped. Darian Jackson had it. Dominic Bonner broke it up.
Great throw to Jackson. Jackson's got to hold on to that ball. That would have been a huge pickup up the middle. Call a timeout after that one or come up and set up because the clock would have stopped on the first down. Now you're looking at 3rd and 10 with only 9.5 seconds left.
You figure they're going to call a timeout after this play no matter what to set up whatever they have to do next. Ross, quarterback draw. Ross trying to get out of bounds, and oh, did he take a lick? Benny Freeman knocked him asunder. Wow. Pickup of 3 on the play.
Ross kind of turned his shoulder and kind of turned to the side. Freeman's like, you're going to stay in bounds. I'm going to let you have it.
Pickup, I'll give him 4. Oh my, you may not see a better lick than that all year. Let's get another look at that one from R&B Car Company.
See Ross coming up, coming right down that sideline, and Freeman just closed in on him. You need to call the St. Joe County Police Department on that hit. They're here to protect and serve our community. The St. Joe County Police Department are hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
Wow. 4th down. Quinn Ross standing with his helmet off on the sideline after that hit. And indeed, it looks like Jeremiah Aguilar will come on and try the field goal attempt. This would be a 45-yarder with 4.5 seconds left. Of course, the thing you worry about here, if you're an Elkhart fan, is Penn blocking the kick and running it back. But we'll find out about the leg of Aguiara right here on what could be the final play of the first half. The snap, the set down, and the kick is blocked. And Penn will field it with Dominic Bonner down at the 7-yard line as time expires in the first half. So a first half dominated by defenses here in the early going, as Elkhart and Penn are knotted in a scoreless tie. And Angelo DiCarlo has made his way over to the far sideline for a Bills Heating sideline report. He's got Robinson St. Louis.
Coach, what are your thoughts in that first half?
It's a good high school football game. That's a good football team, and I've been telling everybody we got a good football team. Now we just got to go make a play. We're waiting for one person to go make a big play. We got to score touchdowns.
You told me this week you guys had to have discipline. Have you seen that from your squad?
Here and there, yeah. They've been much better, much improved, and I've been saying it over and over again. Once we get that clicking, we're going to be pretty solid. We still got to, there's a few things. We're high school kids, right? A few things we got to clean up, but I've been proud of how they've been competing, how been their effort. We just got to make a play, big play.
Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Robinson St. Louis, we'll make sure we don't get run over by the band here. Chuck and Bo, back to you.
Be careful, you just about had a saxophone in your ear. We've got plenty of defensive highlights to show you from the first half, but first, our Tony Letcher Health Market student athletes. Elkhart nothing, Penn nothing at the half on the 46. Game of the week.
Time now for our TV46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. It's linebacker edition of the 46 Student Athletes of the Week. Tommy Pauls from Penn, Max Huckleberry from Elkhart. We'll start with the road team as always. You have a 4.11 GPA. You play football, you play track, you run track. How do you manage it all? How do you make it all work?
Well, it's a lot of late nights, a lot of grind. You know, it's just you got to stay focused and just push through. It's hard sometimes.
What do you love about the sport of football and the team aspect that brings you all together?
I mean, I just love hitting people, and it's just fun to fly around out there. And, you know, it's just a great bonding with all your brothers.
What does the future hold for you? What are you looking to do one day in your profession and maybe possibly with college?
I think I'm going to just stick around here, probably attend a couple colleges. And then I think I'm going to go to Premium Services and just grind out there and see where it takes me.
All right, there's your plug for Premium Services. We'll have to get them on as a sponsor, perhaps. How has Elkhart prepared you for the future and where you are as a person today?
They've done a really good job. They've got me a lot of credits for college, and I just think it's going to prepare me for the rest of my life.
Max, thank you very much. Congratulations. It's Max Huckleberry. We're joined now by Tommy Pauls, 3-year starter in both lacrosse and football, and he has a 4.05 GPA. How do you put it all together? How do you make sure your grades are staying high when you're playing two sports at such a high level?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of effort I put into it. I mean, effort, you gotta work really hard on the field and really hard in school, you know. It's a lot of discipline. You can't really go home and maybe take a nap. You gotta go home and do your homework, you know. It's hard sometimes, but it's good.
Football or lacrosse, what are you better at?
Better? I don't know. I mean, I've been playing football my whole life, so I mean, I feel a little more comfortable with football, but lacrosse I've been growing and growing every year, so.
I know you would love to play football or lacrosse possibly at Notre Dame next year. Is Notre Dame a no-brainer for you because of the family lineage, your dad playing there and everything? Is it just say, I gotta go?
I mean, yeah, I'm planning on it. I grew up Notre Dame. I've lived my life with Notre Dame, so I'm definitely planning on going to Notre Dame, and I'm fortunate with getting walk-on offers in football or lacrosse, and the future awaits and what sport I choose.
What has being a Penn Kingsman meant to you?
It's the leadership, it's the history, it's just really good. My brother played right before me, so I mean, it's just history and leadership for me.
Tommy, thank you very much. Congratulations. That's Tommy Pauls from Penn, Max Huckleberry from Elkhart, our 46 Student Athletes of the Week. presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets, back with first half stats and highlights right after this on the TV46 Game of the Week.
And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Martin Supermarkets. Count on us for all your grocery needs and so much more. And welcome inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you at halftime here at Everwise Freed Field. Elkhart nothing, Penn nothing. If it doesn't sound exciting, then you don't like defense, because there has been some energy on that field tonight, and it has been kinetic energy, which happens when there are collisions.
Yeah, there's been a lot of collisions out there, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think one of the biggest things is both these defenses understand that the first one to score starts getting the momentum, and both defenses are really stepping up.
So while we work on security here at halftime, let's show you how it got to be this way at Everwise Freed Field, because the defenses have been dominating. As you see Maverick Brown come up and make a stop right there. But the guy that really sparkled for Penn in that first half was Brandon Lynch. He had a couple of sacks of Quinn Ross. couple of tackles for loss. He was all over the field for the Wild Bunch. Vinny Freeman comes up and makes a nice stop for the safety spot here. But Elkhart was actually moving the ball better against the Penn defense, as you see Lynch get another hit right there. Then Elkhart started to move it. Connor Dow gets a little flare out in the flat, helped them pick up a first down. And Elkhart had some hits of its own as Marion Dye comes racing from behind to get the sack right there. Penn would finally get a first down late in the first half on this pass to Elijah Coker, but that was the lone first down of the half. Meanwhile, a big first half for Darian Jackson catching the football with 4 receptions. A look at the first half numbers. Man, the offense has really struggled against these defenses.
Yeah, when you look at the stats there for the halftime, you look at 94 total yards for Elkhart, 35 for Penn. The one thing you don't see in there is field position. Elkhart had horrible field position the whole first half, whereas Penn had pretty decent field position, wasn't able to put the ball in the end zone or have any points from a field goal or anything at all. And so that's kind of the telling thing is Elkhart's defense actually played better than Penn's defense, I believe, because of that hidden staff.
So it's a 0-0 game as we get ready for second half play-by-play. The Penn band doing a great job entertaining the fans here at Everwise Freed Field. We'll hear from Penn coach Corey Oman in the Bills Heating sideline report when we return. But this has been the St. Joe County Police Department halftime report on TV 46. For those of you watching on the live stream, stick around. Scores are coming your way next. Chuck Freeby back with you at Everwise Freed Field as we get you up to date on what's going on around Michiana with halftime scores. Of course, as you see, 0-0 here in this game. West Noble leads Fairfield at halftime 18-0. Culver Academy has a 21-14 lead on Tippecanoe Valley. That game in the second quarter. By the way, Valley has not beaten Culver Academy since 2010. St. Joe with a 12-7 lead on New Prairie. That's in the second at Father Bly Field. Good one down at Fisher Field in Warsaw, where the Tigers lead Northwood 17-14. That's in the second. Mishawaka is absolutely drilling Plymouth. It's 42-0 at the Rock Pile. That's in the second. Adams and Marion at halftime, just like us, they are scoreless as well. Battle Creek Lakeview with a 21-14 lead on St. Joe, Michigan. That's at the half. Also at the half, Jimtown leads Bremen 21-10. Constantine leads Schoolcraft 14-7 in the second. Bit of a surprise, Winnemac giving North Judson a game. That's scoreless in the second. Coloma leads Watervliet 8-6 at the half. Coloma hasn't won a football game since 2020. Rochester leads Cass 30-6. That's in the second quarter. And just checking to see if there's any late updates here. Northridge now with a 35-0 lead on Goshen as that goes to the second quarter. And Rochester has expanded its lead on Lewis Cass 38-6. Also, Warsaw now leading Northwood 24-21 as that game approaches halftime. Here it's Elkhart 0, Penn 0. Thanks for watching the 4T Doors Systems Facebook live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and the IHSAA Champions Network. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by API St. Andrews, 31 years of success. Elkhart and Penn in a scoreless duel as we get ready for the third quarter. Let's check in with Angelo DiCarlo with the Bills Heating Sideline Report. Did you get a chance to talk to Corey Yeoman at the break, Ange?
I did. He kept things pretty simple. Said the defense is playing really well, really good football. And he said for the offense, we have to get, quote, something going. As for the game itself, he said it's one great high school football game. Chuck and Bo, back to you.
And a great high school football game being watched by a college football coach. Marcus Freeman on hand with his family tonight to see his son Vinny play. Had to be pleased with at least a couple of those plays in the first half. Marcus just unassumingly standing down in a corner of the field. And Ron Paulus on hand as well to see his son Tommy. Ron up there with his wife Sarah. And I think Ron III is over there to the left of Sarah. So Corey Mann and Debbie Mann from the Pulse FM Jumpstart as Nolan McCullough warms up. McCullough was 3 of 7 throwing the football in the first half for 27 yards. He'll get a chance here early in the third quarter as the third quarter being brought to us by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. Penn will receive the opening kickoff.
Generations Adventureplex in Mishawaka has expanded and now open is the Grizzly Falls, a dynamic 18-hole mini golf course with a waterfall and all sorts of great challenges. Come by this weekend and test your golf skills at Generations Adventureplex in Mishawaka.
Colin Krumpeck gets ready to put the ball into play. It's a squib kick, and Vinny Horner will take it at the 24. And Horner is loose and spinning through the Elkhart team, and Horner still on his feet all the way out to the 40. There's the big play on special teams we've been waiting for from the Kingsmen. A 36-yard kickoff return from Vince Horner.
Here you can see it on the R&B Car Company replay. Horner does a great job of getting the ball upfield. Hold on that ball a little bit better there, Vinny, though. Hold on to that end of that ball. Good job of really getting upfield. Great field position, and again, Penn's special teams come through with a huge play to set them up here to start the second half.
Will that be the spark that the Kingsman offense needs? They only had 1 first down in the first half. And McCullough, and that play blown up because of false start by the receiver on the near side, Elijah Coker, the 5th penalty of the night for the Kingsmen.
Just like that, starting out, you have a great return and you have a mental error of a false start to start this drive.
Tippecanoe Valley leading Culver Academy 28-21. Riley leading Indianapolis Washington 26-0. And Rochester on top of Lewis Cass 38-6 at the half. LaVille leading Caston 30-0 at the half. 1st and 15 for Penn from the Lion 45. Play action. McCullough loading up, going deep for Coker. He's open. He couldn't hang on. He was behind Colvin Ryle, but couldn't make the catch.
I think one of the biggest things there is he tried to catch it with his arms instead of getting his hands out, catching it with the hands. Very important as a wide receiver, especially on a pass like that. Got the spiral, put the hands up, catch it up. Don't have the hands turned over and try to catch it in the chest.
Ryle had closed well, though, on the play.
He sure did.
And was right behind him. 2nd and 15.
See Penn trying to open it up here early in the second half, trying to go deep.
And McCullough now needs to take a timeout. The Penn timeout sponsored by Rise and Roll of Mishawaka. And we'll keep it right here with 11:40 to go in the third quarter.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century. Featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts, Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
You know, you saw them try to go deep to Elijah Coker there, and Penn does have a rather tall order to have to cover in that receiving core. When you take a look at those guys, Coker and Eisel both 6'4", Watson and Bennett, the tight end, both 6'3". You might see Penn try to employ those people a little bit more here in the third quarter.
Well, we talk about not only do they have that height, they got the speed to go along with it, because you have a couple 100 sprinters right there in that lineup.
More scores from around the area. Niles leads Otsego 29-8 at the half. So Scott Shaw's team bouncing back well from that loss they had to Lakeshore a couple of weeks ago on TV46. Kellen Watson in motion to the far side. McCullough is looking that way as he rolls. McCullough throws and has Cole Bennett, the tight end, for a first down up to the 34-yard line. Actually, it's not a first down. They made up about 12 yards of the penalty yardage, but they still have a little bit to go.
Yeah, got more of a manageable third down now, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, they spot him back at the 34-yard line, so indeed it is 3rd and 4 from there for the Kingsmen. For Bennett, his second catch of the night as you look into the eyes of young Nolan McCullough, only 16. Smart young man, 1290 on the SAT. Great leader on this team and was the All-NIC quarterback a year ago. He's looking at a 3rd and 4. It's Jake Bayless keeping low off the left side, but he's short of the first down by about a yard.
It's always a point in the game where Penn has a turning point. I think this is it right here. 4th down, 4th and 2. They marked them back quite a ways. I thought they were up close to that first down marker, but it's going to be a long 4th and 2 here for the Kingsmen.
That Lion defensive line has been very stout tonight, and they got some big beef up there with C.D. McPhee and E.J. Aguirre in there. See how they do on 4th and 2. Blitz coming, and they stopped him. Marion Dye comes in from the defensive end and stops Bayless after a pickup of 1, and Elkhart holds on downs. Holy cow.
What a play by Dye, coming around and just pulling him down from the side. Stopped in his tracks. Look at that speed. Wow.
Trayvon Curry's defense comes up with another big stop. Bayless stops short of the 30-yard line, and Elkhart takes over at the 31, and they'll love watching that one on the monitor across the way. So now Quinn Ross and the Lions, they were moving the football late in the first half, wound up having to try a field goal that was blocked. Can the Lions move the ball here? They'll give it off to Connor Dow, who has run the ball effectively tonight, but he's taken down after about a pickup of 1 on the play. Jackson Griffith in there to make the stop that time from the middle linebacker position. He had that game-winning interception against Elkhart last year.
THK Law LLP is a proud supporter of high school athletics. THK Law has been helping Michiana families with estate planning, elder law, business matters, and litigation for over 25 years. Visit thklaw.com.
Ross steps up, throws, has his man, Cade Tyrakowski, right in front of Vince Horner with the catch at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 5 on the play for Tyrakowski, his 4th grab of the night. You get another look from R&B Car Company. Quinn Ross very decisive with the football tonight. We talked with receivers coach Nate Palmer before the game, the former NFL player, and that's one of the things that he and Ross talked about this week.
Yeah, a lot of studying and a lot of discipline in that aspect of understanding, getting rid of that ball quickly and being more comfortable back there and getting that ball to the receiver so they can do something with it.
Elkhart looking at a 3rd and 3 right here. And whistles blown before the play got underway, and a timeout taken by Elkhart. It looks like they will take it. We will as well. 8:56 to go, 3rd quarter. Lions looking at a pivotal 3rd and 3 when we return on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Angelo DiCarlo back with you from Everwise Free Field as you look at Robinson St. Louis on that Elkhart sideline, trying to bring his team to what many people would believe is a major upset of the Penn Kingsmen. And it would be in terms of what has happened over the years in the city of Elkhart at this place, which has been a house of horrors for Elkhart team. No Elkhart football team has won at Freed Field since September 27, 1985, when Elkhart Memorial beat Penn 10-7. That is 2 generations ago, folks. 3rd and 3. And it is a H-back, Nate Munson, trying to carry for the first down. I think he might have got it, but it's awfully close.
Right at the sticks is the way it looks from the far side judge.
They went wildcat right there. And they say first down, Elkhart.
The way this game's going, we might not even get to that 10-7 score back the way they did in 85.
Well, they went overtime for that game.
Yeah.
I was here actually doing the game as a college student on radio with the Hall of Famer Vince Turner on WTRC. Here's Quinn Rost. Looked to throw, had nowhere to go. Then Ryland Frazier brings him down after a pickup of 2. But that's a good decision that time by Rost.
Yeah, just a good job of not letting that ball go, turning it upfield. Again, he might have looked for the running back in the flats on that a little bit sooner as well, because he had the outlet pass to do that instead of just looking downfield as well.
Now, Elkhart looking at a 2nd and 8. But you can just feel the confidence of this Lions team building with every snap of this game. They felt like they should have beaten Concord and Northridge, and they beat themselves in those games, according to them. Rost, designed quarterback keeper, and all he did was keep getting hit by Tommy Paulus. Loss of 1 on the play.
Whether it be for the best burger in town, a juicy steak, or a slow roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The Deschone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart, located on Lesher Avenue.
3rd and 9 for Elkhart. Rost to throw over the head of Connor Dow, and Vinnie Freeman was coming in on him anyway. 4th down in a punting situation for Cade Tyrakowski and the Lions. Boy, the defensive lines have just absolutely dominated this game. And the stat that really indicates it is the rushing yards. Elkhart, not known as a rushing team, but they do okay, 130 yards a game. They have 18. Penn averages 193 rushing yards a game. They have 11. 4th and 9. Tyrakowski with a nice rugby-style punt that Horner fields back at his 25. But Horner fielded it, and he got some blocks. And again, Vince Horner up to the 47-yard line. A 21-yard return for Horner, and good field position for the Kingsmen once again.
Great job by Horner fielding that kick, getting it upfield as quickly as possible, bringing up better field position, as you mentioned, for the Kingsmen here again to start their 2nd series in the 2nd half.
But you come back to the fact that the Penn offense has now been on the field off and on for 29 minutes in this football game, and they have uno first down.
Give a big shout out to Klein Custom Homes. They're the first down sponsors here in the 2nd half for the Penn Kingsmen.
McCullough throws, and a nice catch by Elijah Coker at his knees before he is stopped at the 49-yard line, 2 yards short of the first down.
William and Kayla Thomas with Grandson Trucking are proud supporters of Penn High School. Their son, number 43, Wilson Thomas, and all the Kingsmen have a great game and a great season.
2nd and 2. Can McCullough and the Kingsmen open up something here on offense and get some productivity? Bennett, the tight end, in motion. Elkhart stunting at the line of scrimmage. Here comes Bayless, and Bayless gets hauled down by Marion Dye, but a face mask will add 15 yards in the first down.
It looked like it was a face mask, but I don't know if it was or not. The side judge did not throw the flag. It came from the back judge.
So perhaps there will be a discussion here. But yeah, there's the face mask call by Andy Simpson, and maybe we'll get another look at it here from R&B Car Company. Keep your eyes on 99, and I don't know. I thought maybe he just pulled down on the ball, but the motion looked the same as a face mask. That's a painful 15-yard penalty for Elkhart, and Penn gets its second first down of the night. It's sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Here's another look. You make the call at home. No, he didn't get the face mask.
Yeah, it just looked like it. It looked like the way he pulled him down, because he just grabbed him and threw him down.
And I can see at full speed where you might think that. Here's Coker with another catch, and he slips down on the turf. I got to tell you, they do a lot of great things here at Penn, and they put in this turf field about 9 or 10 years ago. But this turf field is about shot. I was on it before the game, and you could see people slipping and sliding all over the place.
Yeah, the footing isn't quite great, and the amount of use that they get on this field with different activities and different things, it's definitely at its age where it's used its life up.
2nd and 5 from the 26. And especially this time of night, it starts to get a little moist out there, a little dewy. Here's Bayless trying to go up the middle, keeping those feet chopping, and Jake Bayless has himself a first down up to the 20-yard line, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. And Penn getting its best movement of the night.
At Sanders and Pianowski, professional service to their clients is their first and compelling priority. The firm of Sanders and Pianowski want to take time and wish both teams well in tonight's game. Serving the Elkhart community for decades and decades yet to come, Sanders and Pianowski on the Riverwalk in downtown Elkhart.
1st and 10 from the 19. Penn's deepest penetration of the night. It's Bayless again, shuffling the feet, getting to the outside, and Darian Newsom had to flag him down from behind after a pickup of 6.
Bayless really starting to see and get his motor working just a little bit more, having a little bit more drive off that ball. Great job of getting to the outside and picking up that 6 yards there on the first down.
But you also see the speed of this Elkhart team, because they are able to get to the outside on Jake Bayless and make that tackle where a lot of teams aren't able to do that. 12 carries, 30 yards for Bayless tonight, 2nd and 4. It's Bayless again to the outside, and he gets submarine that time. Nice tackle by Darian Jackson. The safety comes up and makes the stop. Bayless close to the first down, but he didn't get it. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Penn just trying to go to more of a power running offense, just go right at you. Give Bayless the opportunity to bounce it outside if he has to.
Scoreboard calling it 3rd and 1, but that is a long one. Now they've switched to 3rd and 2. See the clock, right-hand corner of the tire rack scoreboard. McCullough on a quarterback sneak, and he powers right behind his center and elbow into the end zone. Touchdown, Penn. Auden Jones was a road grader on that play and takes McCullough to Hallelujah Land, and the Kingsmen are on the board. The touchdown sponsored by Generations Adventureplex and their Grizzly Falls Mini Golf. Watch the blocking of 65 Auden Jones, or excuse me, 65 Riley Shramsky and 63 Auden Jones.
Just a great job by the lineman. You saw some of the guys fall down, and that's when the Elkhart guys kind of stopped. I think they thought the running back, or in that case McCullough, the quarterback, was down at that time, but no, he was still behind one of the linemen upfield running in for the 6 point.
Dylan D'Addario with a key extra point out of the hold of Austin Eisel. Jumping around by Elkhart, and that'll cost him half the distance to the goal line. So Penn striking first with 4 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Corey Yeoman will take the penalty, but he'll keep his kicking unit out on the field. Penn leading it 6-0. D'Addario will move the tee a yard closer here. Dylan, a 5'10", 140-pound junior. There's the snap, the set down, and the kick, and they're all good. With 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter, the Penn Kingsmen are finally on the board as Nolan McCullough, with the oldest play in the book, the quarterback sneak, but he snuck his way 12 yards to pay dirt, and the Kingsmen lead it on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by HealthLink, your community health center. There you see Nolan McCullough, the only man to reach the end zone so far tonight. Penn with a 7-0 lead on the Elkhart Lions. The Penn offense helped a little bit by the penalty, but coming up big on a 3rd and 2 there to get to the end zone.
Yeah, definitely got helped out on that penalty quite a bit on that play, but after that, they really got a lot of momentum, and I think their offensive line, and Bayless in particular, really picked up the pace a little bit and urgency on offense.
Now we'll see if Elkhart responds with any kind of urgency as Dylan Daddario gets ready to kick off. Darian Jackson, one of the deep men for Elkhart, but this one going over to the other side. And on the return for Elkhart, they'll bring it out to the 27-yard line with Frankie Wills. And so that's where the Lions will take over 1st and 10, as coming up and making the stop on special teams was Ryan O'Connell.
Big shout out to Barnaby's and Twin Branch for feeding our production crew tonight. Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka on Grape Road, Granger, and now the Twin Branch location, where you'll always find delicious pizza and a relaxed family atmosphere. Order online at MishawakaBarnaby's.com.
Quinn Ross, 9 of 18, throwing the ball tonight for 88 yards. Elkhart has not been able to really unleash any big plays. Their largest play was a 23-yarder back in the first quarter.
Saw Ross last year really hit some big plays late in the game, especially in that fourth quarter as well.
Tommy Paulus and Jackson Griffith combined for the stop of Connor Dow there after a pickup of about a yard. Dow with 9 carries, 21 yards, but yards have been tough to come by against that combo. Paulus, you saw him on 46 during the spring. An outstanding lacrosse player for the Kingsmen. Quinn Ross, the junior, calling the signals here. Play action. Ross scrambling away from pressure, decides he's going to run it, and chased out of bounds by Ryland Frazier on the Penn sideline. He'll go out at the 30, winds up picking up a couple of yards on the play.
Imaginary Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. Thank you to Imagineering for your continued support of high school sports on TV46.
Penn has come close a couple of times tonight on Elkhart routes to jumping them and getting interceptions. Let's see what happens here on a big 3rd and 6. Ross trying to roll away from pressure, sets, throws, and it's off the hands of his intended receiver, Zach Anderson, a little bit behind him. That's a tough throw to make on the run.
Yeah, definitely a tough throw, rolling out to his left, turning on his backside, trying to throw across his body. Being a baseball player, is used to that, throwing across his body like that, but that is a tough throw with the football.
3 and out for the Lions, and so Cade Tyrakowski comes out to punt. He's been going with that rugby-style punt where you run a little bit and try to punt it away, but Vince Horner has had a kickoff return and a punt return that have made differences here in the second half. Tyrakowski with a quick punt there, but flags thrown as soon as the play got underway.
I think there was a delay of game.
Could be. It seemed like it took them a while. And it is delay of game, third penalty of the night on the Lions for 25 yards.
You can improve your future at Ivy Tech. The goal isn't graduation day, it's a better every day after. Ivy Tech degrees transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities, plus alumni earn an average of $10,000 more with a 2-year degree. Enrollment is open for an October 23rd start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Here's Horner again on special teams. Down the sidelines. And finally taken down at the 10.
There's a flag at about the 40-yard line. I'm not sure if it was a sideline warning or not, but definitely got a flag there at the 40-yard line.
If the return holds, it's good for 45 yards. But we will see. And I believe that's might be what we have here is a sideline warning. Waiting for the call from Andy Simpson.
They're moving it back, blocking the back. They're bringing the ball back. That big return moves it back all the way inside, back to Penn territory, actually.
And I think it happened on the sideline right there. Right in front of the Penn bench, one of the Elkhart players got blocked as he was coming in to try to make the tackle. So the ball moves back to the Lion 48. Still very good field position here for Penn. And we'll see if they can cushion this 7-0 lead with 2:48 left. A year ago in this game, Elkhart got on the board in the contest with a pick 6. And you just wonder, the Lion defense has to come up with that kind of play here tonight. You can't get a pick 6 if they don't throw it. Jake Bayless carries it and weaves his way through traffic for 2 yards.
I think that's the way Penn's looking at this game tonight, where they're just going to try to keep Bayless on the ground, keep pounding out, running that clock, trying to move the chains like they did last series and put some points on the board.
And really right now, if you're Penn, the ultimate unit you have confidence in is your defense. There is no reason to think that your defense is going to give up points tonight. They didn't last week to Hammond Morton. They're looking right now at 7 consecutive quarters of scoreless football. Bayless again up the middle, smashes through, and Newsom finally stops him after a first down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes at the Lion 38. 8 yards on the carry for Bayless, his biggest gain of the night.
MAAC Property Services is a family-owned company offering full-service commercial grades, maintenance, and snow removal. Yes, I said snow removal in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Celebrating 25 years of business this year, MAAC Property Services is proud to support the Kingsmen as they start a great season of football. Go Kingsmen!
1st and 10 from the 38. Play action, McCullough rolling out, throws, Cole Bennett there, the tight end with the catch, and he'll finally get taken down at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 15 on the play and another first down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Bennett's 3rd grab of the night, and this was a beautifully executed play. It was London Johnson who finally took him down at the 23. Bennett taking over at the tight end after Gage Goralski was hurt in preseason. Goralski, by the way, just signing the other day to play football at Butler. That's the kind of depth the Kingsmen have at the tight end position. Bayless up the middle, smashing through the Elkhart defense. He gets up to the 14-yard line, just shy of the first down, it would appear. And Penn's offensive line starting to assert itself here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a big hole for Bayless to run through. That offensive line really starting to open up holes a little bit. Play calling is getting a little bit better on those run plays.
Now Bayless pushed back by Marion Dye, but not until he picks up another Klein Custom Homes first down up to the 10-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play as you see the clock ticking the seconds away here in the 3rd quarter.
Martin Supermarket's groceries to go annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. Get ad pricing, digital coupon recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
2nd and 7 from the 10. Could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Play clock down to 6. McCullough keeps it himself. Touchdown, Penn, his second of the night. Nolan McCullough takes it in from 10 yards out. And the Kingsmen are on the board again with the touchdown, sponsored by Generations Adventureplex and their Grizzly Falls Mini Golf.
Great job by McCullough on the fake. They've been going Bayless, Bayless, Bayless up the middle. The tight end bit. He saw that. He pulled it out. See that? Just a great job getting it upfield, getting it across the plane.
Excellent read by the senior that time. Dylan D'Addario on to try the extra point, sponsored by Stip Law. And the Elkhart defense, which had just held on and held the line for so much of the evening tonight, finally starting to wear down as D'Addario's kick is up and good with 12.7 seconds left in the stanza, and we'll keep it right here.
The Time for Tees wants to give a shout out to the Penn football team and all the Kingsman Nation. Have a great night tonight and all season. Time for Tees can handle your team's screen printing needs. Visit timefortees.com.
Saturdays on Pulse FM mean Big Ten football. We'll get you started from Lucas Oil Stadium on 103.1 FM as Jeff Brown brings his Louisville Cardinals down to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. And then, so that's the Louisville-Indiana game on 103.1 at noon. And then at 7:30 from Ross-Ade Stadium, Syracuse comes in to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. Got that big win at Virginia Tech last week, trying to knock off another ACC foe, this time at home. Your home for Big Ten football action is Pulse FM.
A little delay in that game, but what a great opening that is in Virginia Tech and Enter Sandman, and just the chills that you get playing in an environment like that. It's got to be exciting.
Dylan D'Addario on to kick it off once again. Member of the soccer team here at Penn. Elkhart now in desperate need of a big play. Maybe they get one from their special teams, but the Penn special teams have really dominated in this game tonight. D'Addario's high spinner fielded at the 15 by Frankie Wills. And Wills is taken down at the 24 as Ryan O'Connell comes speeding up the field again. Penn just so fundamentally sound in their special teams.
Well, yeah, and if you look at that play right there, they had on the return, Elkhart had a good setup for the return, and as the receiver was coming up, who received the ball, was coming up, just 4 guys were in front of him, and all 4 of those guys went for one guy. They all peeled off and went for one guy, and he was left by himself as he was going up. And you talk about that discipline that Elkhart's trying to get, and that's one area right there that you can look at.
Although I do like my odds 4-on-1.
Yeah.
7.3 seconds left here in the quarter. Quinn Rost under pressure, down he goes, and that's a fitting end to quarter number 3 as Mr. Lynch gets his 3rd sack of the night. So the Penn Kingsmen open things up here in the 3rd quarter with a couple of big quarterback sneaks, and the dominating defenses, while Penn continued to hold up its end of the bargain. Kingsmen lead at 14-0 as we head to the 4th on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life, and a way of life for us. Angelo DiCarlo with Bill's Eating Sideline Reports. He's got a special guest.
Here with Ron Paulus. We've heard Tommy Paulus's name said a lot over the loudspeaker. What's that like as a dad to see your son performing so well?
Oh, it's really exciting. You know, high school football is really important to me and my family, and it always has been. And you know, to see our sons running around on this football field, and Tommy tonight is doing a great job. So it's exciting to be here and be part of it and get to enjoy the action.
What's it like going from the quarterback at Notre Dame to the dad in the stands watching you know, a bunch of your sons here playing at Penn?
The hard part is you have no control over this game. You know, when you're playing, you have a little bit of control, and when you're coaching, you have a little bit of control. But when you're watching your kids out there, boy, you live every play with them, and I sure do that out here. But it's a little more nerve-wracking watching the kids out there for sure.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Chuck and Bo, back to you.
Quinn Ross trying to go for Zach Anderson, and then flags come down at the end of the play, and we'll see what it's all about. I think there might have been a little bit of yapping by some of the Penn players. Remember, we told you Dominic Bonner had transferred from Elkhart to Penn. This game clearly means a lot to him, but there is no way the Penn coaches are going to tolerate a 15-yard flag.
No, I think there might have been a little bit of both, and I don't know if it was just the talking, but I did see a player on the ground, but it was one of those where, oh, you touched me, it was WWF. Oh, my goodness, I fell down, I got knocked out. So.
I believe World Cup season might have broken out. Yeah.
No.
Let's take another look. So there's the end of the play. Here's Bonner. There's the collision. There's one more. Now Anderson and all. Yeah, we decided we were going to go World Cup.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct called against Penn, and the offsetting penalties, because there was one against Elkhart as well, and that was the right call. They were both. Yeah. They were both chirping.
There was 3 bumps, and then there was the World Cup bump.
Yeah. And it was after the play. It was inconsequential to anything that happened. So 3rd down and 16 here for Quinn Rost and the Elkhart Lions, who just have not been able to move the ball here in the second half. I don't think they have a first down in the second half. Ross throws, catch made by Zach Anderson, trying to get away from people, and he took a lick that time from Taylor Bauer, going out of bounds at the 26.
Wow, we've had some hits tonight by this Penn Kingsman defense. It's about the 4th one tonight that we've seen. And yes, the wide receiver was off balance a little bit as he was going forward, so he was wide open for a big hit. And here comes 4th down, and they bring out the punting team.
Not much choice from this point of the field, especially with 11:47 left. You would think that you'd have a couple opportunities to get the ball back if your defense can do its job. But a special teamer late coming onto the field here for Elkhart, and they might need one more.
Yeah, they're lining up in a regular set here on this punt offense.
Play clock down to 8. They are going to have to hurry. High snap.
Nobody's set.
Flags thrown. I mean, this is just a disastrous special teams play for Elkhart. Now a catch on the run by Taylor Bauer. And that could not have gone worse for the Elkhart Lions. Illegal shift called against Elkhart, and there's no way that Corey Yeoman's going to take that penalty with the field position he's got right now at the 20.
Yeah, but what a sequence of plays. You have the illegal shift, the snap over the head. You still get the punt off, but there happens to be a Penn defensive player right where it goes. He catches it in stride and picks up about 15, 20 yards, and it turns into about a -8 punt.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that Robinson St. Louis was talking about before the game.
And it all started with 2 or 3 guys not being ready for the punt situation. Come running on the field. You're late getting on the field. You got to hurry it up because the time's running out. You don't want to delay a game. You almost take a delay in the game in that situation.
Either take the delay of game or a timeout. But
Yeah.
I know you don't want to burn timeouts because you'd be down to 1, trailing by 14.
Speaking of timeouts, Rise and Roll of Mishawaka is our timeout sponsor for Penn.
Jake Bayless stutter stepping his way through the middle of the line and picks up about 4 on the play. Bayless now with 18 carries for 59 yards tonight. C.D. McPhee in there helping Bayless up from the bottom of the pile.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. There's no better way to make sure your athlete is ready to play than with a sports physical. Call HealthLink and schedule an appointment today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Elijah Coker coming back into the game here for Penn. We saw him catch a big touchdown pass in that victory over Mishawaka in week 2 on TV46. But it's Bayless up the middle here, and Bayless tripped up at the 15-yard line. Again, a pickup of 3 and a 3rd and 3 for Penn. Other scores, Dowagiac on top of Parchment now, 33-14 in the 4th. Chieftains are off to a good start up in Michigan. LaVille now with a 36-6 lead on Caston. Tippecanoe Valley with a 42-21 lead on Culver Academy. That game in the 3rd quarter. The Vikings looking to stay undefeated on the year. Concord leading Wawasee 43-0 in the 3rd. Bayless takes it up the middle, and it looks like he got the first down, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. He needed 3 and he got 4.
Warsaw now up 31-21 on Northwood late in the 3rd quarter.
St. Joe, Michigan with a 27-21 lead on Battle Creek Lakeview. Marion and Adams are tied at 6 late in the 3rd at Atulski Field. Jimtown leading Bremen 35-17 in the 4th. That would be a big win for Corey Stoner's team after they looked rather lackluster last week against John Glenn. And West Noble up 25-0 on Fairfield headed to the 4th. 1st and 10 from the 11 here for Penn. McCullough hands it off. Bayless tried to turn the corner. Max Huckleberry will bring him down at the 4-yard line. 7 yards for a hobbling Bayless on that one.
Great job of really driving his legs. Look at that offensive line push. They're 5-6 yards down the field before Bayless even got touched, because that offensive line is just pushing that Elkhart D line down up the field.
Yeah, they are starting to wear them down a little bit after the Elkhart defensive line played well for 2.5 quarters. 2nd and 4. Bayless on the end around, and he's in the end zone for a Penn touchdown. Jake Bayless takes it in from 4 yards out. The touchdown sponsored by Generations Adventureplex and their Grizzly Falls Mini Golf. And Bayless finds the end zone for the 8th time this season. Here's another look from R&B Car Company. Just a power sweep and great blocking, including the wide receivers. Good job by Tayshawn Bardo that time.
Way to just hit the corner, get outside, able to pick up the touchdown, go up 3 scores here. Just a way to finish it, the way Penn's finishing this game.
High snap, but D'Addario's kick is up and good, and with 9:04 to go in the contest, Penn is starting to open it up. And the NIC opener looking at it as though it will go the Kingsmen's way as they lead it 21-0 on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the IHSAA, keeping education in front of athletics.
Reminder, our 4th quarter is sponsored by MAAC Property Services. They're a family-owned company offering full-service commercial grounds maintenance and snow removal in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. They've been celebrating 25 years of business this year. MAAC Properties, our 4th quarter sponsor.
Great support from these 2 communities tonight. We really appreciate it here at TV46 as you look at Dylan D'Addario about to kick off. 4th quarter score for Michigan. Berrien Springs leading Brandywine 26-12. D'Addario waits for the signal. And on the approach, end over end spinning kick, Frankie Wills from his 9. Wills trying to spin away, and Vinnie Freeman had him by the shirt and brought him down at the 20.
Kona Ice is proud to support high school athletics. Kona Ice, we're mobile, we're fun, we're delicious. Dates fill up fast, so visit kona-ice.com today to reserve your party.
So we'll see if the Elkhart offense can generate anything right here. And it looks like Chase Bussard is coming in to get some reps at quarterback. Bussard, the backup quarterback on this Elkhart team, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore, has thrown 3 passes this year, completing 1, but it was good for an 8-yard touchdown.
Looks like they're going some type of full house backfield here. They're just going to try to power it.
Looks like a wildcat. Nate Munson takes the snap there, and that didn't fool anybody from the Kingsmen.
Look at that. Who do you think came in and made that stop?
Brandon Lynch has been spectacular tonight. And if I get a vote in player of the game, and I'm pretty sure as sports director I do, I'm voting for that young man.
You know, McCullough has had a pretty decent second half, but Lynch has had a full game where he's played lights out throughout this whole game. What a game. He's still down there. He's still fired up. He's still ready to go.
He is the second strongest male in the school here at Penn High School, and he comes from a family of terrific athletes. His sister Christina, a soccer player at Notre Dame. His brother Ryan, a baseball player. Here's Munson trying to run around and get loose, and Munson will tuck it under, cut it up the field, and finally be knocked out of bounds past the 30-yard line to the 32, and it's a first down for Elkhart. I believe that's their first down of the second half, and it took them 16 minutes to get it.
Crystal Clear Pools in Osceola is a proud supporter of high school athletics. To all the student athletes, band members, and cheerleaders participating this fall, keep up the hard work and thank you for being leaders in your schools and communities.
Warsaw now up on Northwood 38-21. That game in the fourth quarter. South Bend Washington leading South Bend Clay 41-6 now in the third over at School Field. And West Noble on top of Fairfield 31-8 in that big Northeast Corner Conference clash. Here's an end around, and again it's Darian Jackson carrying the football, but he is well pursued by the Penn defense as Vincent Horner and Maverick Brown run him out of bounds after a pickup of maybe 1.
Just again, the play just kept getting stretched out all the way to the sideline. He had no place to go. You got to find that seam and you got to cut it upfield and get north-south.
Actually, he lost a yard, it appears, on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11. False start on the near side receiver for Elkhart, and that'll cost the Lions 5.
Quinn Ross back in the game at quarterback.
For Penn next week, the Kingsmen have a date at Marion to take on Michael Davidson's Knights, who are locked in a struggle with Adams tonight. Meanwhile, Elkhart will play host to South Bend St. Joe, and at last report they were down to New Prairie at halftime at Father Bly Field. Here's a little bubble screen, and again it's Maverick Brown with the big hit on Darian Jackson. Jackson picked up maybe a couple of yards on the play. He'll be given the 30-yard line. That's 4. That's more than I thought he got.
St. Joe actually just scored to make it 22-19.
Still in favor of New Prairie,
still in favor
it's
of New
a
Prairie.
good ball game over Father Bly right now.
Yeah, St. Joe really having a pretty heck of a good season this year for their turnaround that they've had the last couple of years.
By the way, if you missed the interview with Ben Downey on the Pulse FM Tire Rack Drive to the game tonight, I suggest you give it a listen on the podcast. 3rd and 13, Ross airing it out for Jackson, and he underthrew him, but he was well covered by Taylor Bauer on the play.
Everyone loves Rise and Roll Donuts in Mishawaka, but did you know that they also offer pies, jellies, soup mixes, Amish noodles, and so much more? Rise and Roll also offers a large line of gluten-free products. Stop by this week for your favorite Rise and Roll Donuts and so much more. Located on Grape Road in Mishawaka, open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and Saturdays, 7 to 5. Rise and Roll, doing things the old-fashioned way.
And allow me to correct myself. That was Cam Anderson on the coverage that time for Penn, not Bauer. High snap for Tyrakowski. The Elkhart punter sends one that will be a little dying quail down there at the 45-yard line. It was nearly touched by a Kingsman player, but instead Penn will get possession in their own territory, up 21 points with 6:49 to go, and now you just figure it's rock pounding time.
Yeah, definitely. Penn's going to keep it on the ground here. They're going to do another run up the middle and then maybe a run up the middle and another run up the middle. So, yeah, they're definitely going to keep it on the ground here.
Well, Angelo DiCarlo has filed his vote via text, but maybe we can hear from Angelo here in a minute with a Bills Heating sideline report. We'll go to him after this first down play. Kellen Watson taking over quarterback. He was the backup quarterback a year ago for the Kingsmen. And he'll hand it off to Jake Bayless, and Bayless powers his way for 8 yards. And while Bayless and McCullough have made nice stints here in the second half, Ange, I have the feeling your vote's going to mirror mine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Brandon Lynch has been fantastic. It feels like you've called Lynch, Paulus, and a little bit of Freeman all night long on the defensive end, and you got to give the love to the defense here, pitching a shutout up 21-0. So I'll vote Lynch as well. I think, and he's got to get some catching up to do in that family, right? I'm sure the older siblings have won many players of the games over the years.
I don't know that Christina ever had the chance on 46.
Yeah.
We just started doing soccer not that long ago as Bayless manages to get a first down for Klein Custom Homes here for a 3-yard pickup. But I remember Ryan playing football for a season here at Penn, and of course an outstanding baseball pitcher.
Well, and if I remember right, Christina actually went down to the Colts during middle school and won the punt pass kick contest back when she was like 10 or 11 years old for a couple years as well.
So a very athletic family, but Brandon is having his moment under the lights tonight, and he is shining brightly. He had 3 sacks in this game tonight for a Penn defense that looks like it's about to pitch back-to-back shutouts, something that Ryan would have been happy with as a pitcher. Bayless, just a workhorse. That's his 25th carry of the night. I've got him for 91 yards.
Yeah, his second half that Bayless has, I mean, if you can vote for him for player of the game as well.
He might be player of the second half.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Again, I go back to the fact that Vince Horner set a lot of this up with special teams work. And then you had the play by Cam Anderson on the far side on the punt return as well. So special teams and defense have really carried the day for Penn today. 2nd and 8. Bayless smashing up the middle. Pick up a 4. And of course, if you're going to give Bayless credit, I'm not trying to discredit Jake, but give that offensive line credit too, because they have started to open up some holes down there.
I just noticed in the second half, to start the second half, Bayless had a little bit more of a drive, a little bit more energy, it seemed like, in his pickup of once he got the ball, a little bit more urgency, I should say. But yeah, that offensive line here, especially here in the fourth quarter, they're down 4 or 5 yards as soon as the ball snaps with the guys off the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 4. Elkhart showing blitz. Watson will try to run away from it. He's the regional champion in the 100, and he's going to smash forward to the 31-yard line for a pickup of 7.
They pick up a Klein Custom Homes first down, and they'll get a little chippy out there, I think. Another flag coming in late.
But Watson thrilled us here at Freed Field this year when he won the sectional title in the 100 in the track meet that we did on TV46. Wound up finishing 3rd in the state. And then, as Andy Simpson shows you, the flag is for a personal foul against Elkhart.
Stip Law cheers for the Kingsmen's. Have a great season. Stip Law achieves positive results by providing comprehensive, passionate representation. Stip Law, legal help for all life's hurdles.
And this could well be one of those games where the final score is not nearly indicative of the kind of football game that it was. Because remember, Penn didn't score until there were 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Now, they may wind up putting another touchdown off on the board here and wind up winning 28-0. But for the first, 36 minutes of this game, it was nothing.
No, and it was a defensive battle, and I believe at that point, Penn only had like 2 first downs at that point, too.
Now, the Kingsmen are going to take a timeout here, and that is sponsored by Rise and Roll of Mishawaka. With 3:51 left, we'll keep it here.
Canes is in session. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app for cook-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, and their craveable cane sauce. Big cheer for the new school year at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
So every Friday night at 6 o'clock on Pulse FM, we get you ready as you drive to the game with Tire Rack's Drive to the Game, talking all things high school football. And this week on the show, we had an interview with Ben Downey, and Anj, you had a very emotional chat with the St. Joe football coach who has gone through a lot with his team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in week one, just a few hours before their game, Dakota Ditch, an offensive lineman for St. Joe, his sister and father were killed in a crash earlier that day, and Dakota went and played in that game and has played in every game since. Football has been his outlet, and we talked to Ben about how football has really rallied the team as Penn moves along here and gets a touchdown here to go up 27 to 27 nothing.
Malachi Evans with the touchdown run. Flags thrown after the play, and it was back at the 20-yard line. We'll see what this is all about.
I think we're going to have another personal foul after the play.
Evans with his second touchdown run of the season on just 4 carries. He has a great burst from the backfield. But that's if the play holds up. We have not had an indication yet from Andy Simpson.
Looks like they are moving the ball back.
It is a personal foul for a chop block against Penn.
Looked like it was after the play because the flag came in late and it was behind the play. But there were some guys on the ground back there near the flag area.
Maybe it just took Andy a little bit of time to pull the flag out of his pocket. Whatever the case, it moves it back to the 26. And the Kingsmen are no longer up 27-0. So it'll be 1st and 20 for Penn from the 26-yard line. .346 remaining in the contest. Kellen Watson in at quarterback for the Kingsmen. Watson trying to run to his left on a quarterback keeper, and he gets tossed down. Good pursuit that time by the Elkhart defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed on this Elkhart defense. I mean, as you mentioned numerous times, Watson got 3rd in the state in the 100 last year. So he's got some speed, but that closing speed that Elkhart defense has is superb. Coach Robinson talked early in the game about playing 4 full quarters. You talked to him about that, and he talked about, you know, we've played some great 2 quarters and maybe a quarter here and a quarter there, but just haven't played 4 quarters yet. And again tonight, just not quite 4 full quarters out of their team.
Burns will run it up the middle to the 30-yard line, pickup of 6 as you see Robinson St. Louis. Told us before the game that he feels God has a plan for him and this program, and that they have to work their way through some things right now. You have to remember, this is a very young Elkhart offense. They had to rebuild the entire offensive line this year, except for 1 returning player. And you look up and down the depth chart, there are a lot of juniors on this team. You can see this Elkhart team perhaps shining next year. Here's Burns trying to go up the middle again. Bit of a rugby scrum here as he's taken down at the 15. It'll be 4th down, and we'll see if Penn lets the field goal unit have a little opportunity here to practice, or they just decide to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, I think they're going to run that clock as far down as possible. Maybe go ahead and run another play because their defense hasn't really given up many yards all night, so they're just going to pin them down as far as they can here.
Try to get another shutout for this Kingsman defense. That would be back-to-back shutouts. They blanked Hammond Morton last week. 4th and 9 from the 15. Burns up the middle again, but we've got whistles blown and flags thrown, and a timeout, I believe, was called by Penn right before the snap. It's sponsored by Rise and Roll of Mishawaka, and we'll keep it right here once again.
Big shout out to all of our sponsors today. Our Facebook Live sponsor, 4T Door Systems, and our fourth quarter sponsor, MAAC Property Services.
Don't forget, next Friday night, Steel Stadium, and it looks like it will be a showdown between the top two teams in the Northern Lakes Conference. The Warsaw Tigers, who are going to be riding high after knocking off Northwood tonight down at Fisher Field, but they come in and take on a Mishawaka team that has gotten better each and every week. Bart Curtis, Keith Kinder, option football, smash mouth, natural grass, stained uniforms. Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school football, TV 46.
Be a lot of passes thrown in that game, so I'm going to go over and under of 6 total passes in the game between the two teams.
Well,
I think that's a good number, 6.
It depends as to whether one team gets a 14-point lead or not at some point, I imagine.
Yeah.
But if it
How many
stays
trick
within
plays?
7,
yeah, I'm going to go 6
well,
over under.
A pass in that game is considered a trick play.
That is true.
4th and 9 from the 15 with 1:34 left. Burns up the middle with a burst, and he got the first down, and a flag comes in for a face mask at the end.
Yeah, it looked like they got their hand caught in the face mask a little bit right at the end, but doesn't pick up the big Klein Custom Homes first down.
They were smart to take that purchase in the second half. It wouldn't have had a whole lot of mentions in the first half. Penn with 1 first down in the first half tonight, but their offense has found its stride here in the second half. There was the face mask call.
They're probably going to go victory formation, I'm assuming. They can run the clock all the way down.
Yeah, they could. I mean, we'll see. You might also want to give this second unit a chance to cash it in here. You've moved it down to the 2-yard line.
They got Bonner in there, is playing deep safety. Looks like they're going victory formation.
And that's a classy thing to do for Corey Yeoman and his team. There's no need to rack up the score. And so Penn will take a knee, and the Kingsmen will go to 4-1 on the year. And Corey Yeoman, that's career victory number 202 for the pride of Miami University and the Indiana Football Hall of Famer. Hoping that this year he can pick up his 17th Northern Indiana Conference title. They still have dates with St. Joe and New Prairie. This is their conference opener. They'll play Marion next week. And while the offense might have some kinks to work out, the defense looks very, very solid indeed. Watson gets under center. This could be the last snap of the game. He takes the knee, and the Penn Kingsmen have blanked the Elkhart Lions here tonight at Everwise Freed Field by a final count of 21-0. We have plenty to cover in our St. Joe County Police Department postgame show. It will include our Raising Cane's Player of the Game and our Electrical Workers Local 153 Electrifying Play of the Game. That young man, Brandon Lynch, having a monster night with 3 sacks. We'll be talking to Angelo DiCarlo momentarily. Kingsmen win it 21-0 over Elkhart. Back with the postgame after this on 46.
Great game.
Thank you.
You're listed as a free safety in this district.
Yeah, so last year and the years prior, I've been a safety.
Did you start at safety last year?
Yeah, I was a strong safety. Me and a senior rotated starts.
And moved up to. You don't see that very often. Let me know when you guys are ready. Okay, here we go. Brandon Litch, our Raising Cane's player of the game. 3 sacks for you tonight, and a great defensive battle and a great defensive victory for your team with a shutout. Your thoughts on this one?
You know, I think we trained really hard for this game. Ever since we dropped Mishawaka on the schedule, you know, Elkhart's always been the team to beat. And I think we all were really excited for this game, and we came out swinging and, you know, got a good victory.
What does this say about your defense against a very athletic Elkhart team to pitch a shutout?
You know, I think just our defense, the overall physicality of them is just something you can't really teach, can't really coach. I think all of us since we were young have been, you know, wanting to win, have been striving, whether it's in the weight room or just, you know, in practice in general. So I think the physicality of our defense has really played a big role in our success.
You started at safety last year. Now you're playing on the defensive line, obviously going well with 3 sacks. What was that transition like? And when they told you, hey, we want to move you to defensive line, what were you thinking?
Kind of shocked at first, you know. I've always been one to, you know, I love going to the gym. I've always pride myself on strength. And, you know, as soon as they said I was going to the D-line, my first instinct was, all right, I got to buy into this. Went in early, learned the plays, learned what every down block, everything was, and, you know, just tried to really buy into the new position.
Finally, your older siblings were pretty darn good athletes in their own right over the years. What does this player of the game mean to you to get a little bragging rights in the family a little bit?
It means a lot. I've always looked up to them. You know, my sister, brother, 2 amazing athletes, and, you know, they always wish me good luck before games like this. And to be able to finally have something to brag about is awesome. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Brandon, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brandon Lynch, back to you guys.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
You can bang the drum for the Penn defense tonight because they were in rhythm as they downed the Elkhart Lions by a count of 21-0. As we welcome you to the St. Joe County Police Department post-game show in the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you up here. Angelo DiCarlo will join us momentarily. impressive performance by the Penn defense, but give Elkhart credit. I mean, they hung in there for 32 minutes before Penn finally cracked into the end zone, and after that, it just kind of opened the floodgates for the Kings.
Well, you know, talking to Coach St. Louis before the game and talking to some of the Elkhart assistants, they really believe in this team. The team just needs to believe in themselves, have a little bit more discipline. That was his key thing, keys to win, was the number one thing, play with discipline. And they need to just understand that they're a younger team. They need to get experience, and this is a great experience for them. They played 2 wonderful quarters. Second half, Penn came out there, a little bit different team, made a little bit of adjustments, and that's Penn. They're just going to wear you down. That's what happened in this game.
And while the offensive line took over for Penn in the second half, the star of the game throughout the game for the Kingsmen, the special teams, and the defense. They just applied pressure to Elkhart all night long, and a guy who spent as much time in the Elkhart backfield as Quinn Ross, the quarterback, was Brandon Lynch, and he is standing by now with Angelo as our Raising Cane's player of the game.
Brandon Lynch, our Raising Cane's player of the game. 3 sacks for you tonight, and a great defensive battle and a great defensive victory for your team with a shutout. Your thoughts on this one?
You know, I think we trained really hard for this game. Ever since we dropped Mishawaka on the schedule, you know, Elkhart's always been the team to beat. And I think we all were really, really excited for this game, and we came out swinging and, you know, got a good victory.
What does this say about your defense against a very athletic Elkhart team to pitch a shutout?
You know, I think just our defense, the overall physicality of them is just something you can't really teach, can't really coach. I think all of us, since we were young, have been, you know, wanting to win, have been striving, whether it's in the weight room or just, you know, in practice in general. So I think the physicality of our defense has really played a big role in our success.
You started at safety last year. Now you're playing on the defensive line, obviously going well with 3 sacks. What was that transition like? And when they told you, hey, we want to move you to defensive line, what were you thinking?
Kind of shocked at first, you know. I've always been one to, you know, I love going to the gym. I've always pride myself on strength. And, you know, as soon as they said I was going to the D-line, my first instinct was, all right, I got to buy into this. Went in early, learned the plays, learned what every down block, everything was, and, you know, just tried to really buy into the new position.
Finally, your older siblings were pretty darn good athletes in their own right over the years. What does this player of the game mean to you to get a little bragging rights in the family a little bit?
It means a lot. I've always looked up to them. You know, my sister, brother, 2 amazing athletes, and, you know, they always wish me good luck before games like this. And to be able to finally have something to brag about is awesome. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Brandon, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brandon Lynch, back to you guys.
Just a fun interview there with Anj and Brandon, and congratulations to Brandon on being our Raising Cane's player of the game. Our electrifying play of the game came on special teams tonight. It seems like whenever we show up, Vince Horner comes through and delivers something big.
Well, it was all game he was, and this one in particular, he just had a nice play, nice little cutback up the sideline. He was gone. He was all the way down to the 10. Of course, a penalty did call it back, but Horner, just a fantastic job on special teams today.
And the special teams set up Penn with great field position. Yep. They took advantage. And the thing about Vince Horner, if you see him walking through the hallways, he's not an imposing fella. But he is a quintessential high school football player, and he gets every ounce out of the ability that he has. So congratulations to Kingsmen. They're now 4-1, 1-0 in the NIC. They've got Marion next week. Elkhart tries to regroup when they play host to St. Joe at Rice Field. And, man, are we looking forward to next Friday night when we go back into the Northern Lakes Conference for Warsaw and Mishawaka. Our thanks to our TV46 crew who helped bring you this one, led by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and the bubbly one, Tony Beltran, working the dials tonight. Reminder, college football on the radio on Saturday at noon from Lucas Oil. It's Indiana and Louisville. And then at 7:30 on Pulse FM, we'll have the contest between Syracuse and Purdue from Ross-Ade Stadium. And next Friday night, as we mentioned, Steele Stadium, the site for a Northern Lakes Conference clash between the Warsaw Tigers and the Mishawaka Cavemen. We hope you'll join us Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Now for the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freebie. Once again, the final, Penn 21, Elkhart nothing. So long from the banks of the mighty St. Joe.